How's it going, guys? It's Ralph here from Beyond the Huddle. Welcome to this week's Bitcoin forecast. As always, we'll take a look at the COT to see what the asset managers have been up to. Then we'll go ahead and take a look at the margin accounts to see sort of how the derivatives positions and the players are, how the players are positioned. And then we'll take a look at price action and what levels we should be looking at to either stay long-term bullish, short-term bullish, or turn back to short-term bearish. So let's get started. So guys, getting started here with the COT positions, we're going to go ahead and click on this picture, and we can see that as of August 31st, the longs only increased 7 contracts for the asset managers. However, they opened an astonishing 59 contracts of short positions, which is really interesting. If I remember writing something here, so we can go ahead and take a look at that. And my thoughts are essentially 4 things can happen here, right? And I wrote this on Friday morning before the actual COT came out, and the idea was this. So I told this to someone on WhatsApp that I was communicating with, and the idea was if shorts stay strong and longs decline, then it's a sell between 54 to 36K. It's a sell at the 54K range, and then up to, or down to, the 36, 38K, and the potential of going sub 29. Now, when you reach the sub 29, then you would reassess, when you reach the 36 to 38K, you would reassess to see, if the shorts are completely gone, or if they're still at 200, 100, or whatever it is, right? Then that would tell you there's more short interest, left to go. Number 2 was if the longs stay strong, but so do the shorts, then we may only go for the all-time highs and then crash. And interestingly enough, that's kind of the scenario we're having right now, which is longs, even though they only went up 7, they're still strong, and we'll take a look at that in a few moments. And of course, the shorts, they not only stayed strong, but they actually increased very aggressively. So then the third one is, obviously that's the one that everyone wants, right? And that's if the longs go up and shorts go down. It makes sense that then that would be a trending environment for Bitcoin. I'm just not seeing that yet. And that's why right now I keep telling you guys, as long as number 3 doesn't happen, we have to be very attentive to our weekly bearish levels, because if it ever turns bearish on the weekly and it doesn't invalidate it, right? So right now what we've seen the past couple weeks is it turns us bearish. So you see right here, you see these downside wicks. It turns us bearish, but then by the time the week closes, sometime throughout that week, it's already turned us back bullish. So it happened here. You can see right here. This is actually a bearish one right here, and then we got supported by the green zone, and then you see right here again, you're already bullish. So we've been long-term bullish, but we have to keep track of this short-term bearishness because number 3 hasn't happened on that list in the picture you just saw, because it could cause a move somewhere around here. And we already know, everyone knows September has, historically been a bearish month. So I think because everyone knows it and everyone's been passing around that idea, it's not that it won't happen, it's that when it happens, it'll happen much more aggressively, and it'll probably be like a 1 week or 2 week type of thing. And maybe it'll happen at the end of the month, right? Maybe it'll happen near the middle of the month. Right now, we're still in the first week. So, again, number 3, that's what everyone wants. It's just not happening at the moment. So when we do have those short-term bullish signals on Bitcoin, which we've had, again, all these past weeks ever since August opened, right? The beginning of August, we've been short-term bullish, and then, like I said before, when we turn short-term bearish, we get the invalidation back to short-term bullish, and we just buy altcoins because we don't really want to squeeze out that little tiny, 10% or whatever it may be on Bitcoin. We'd rather look for the large gains that we've all seen happening on these altcoins. So number 4. And by the way, it kind of makes sense too, right? If we're looking at the Bitcoin COT and we can see that they're also increasing the shorts, they're not going to let Bitcoin move. You see, that's the whole thing. They're keeping Bitcoin in a range to allow someone else to move when Bitcoin's bullish. That's the key right there, guys. And again, that should be short-term trading. That's what we want to be focusing on. So number 4 is if shorts go down and longs go down, then I expect to move lower from the premium back to 36, 38K, where we'll buy more. Again, we will buy more assuming that the longs are low and the shorts are high, and so on. So again, I'm thinking about number 2 at the moment. Number 1 can definitely still happen because we are still in this range. So you can see right here, again, we have not moved away from that premium. The first time we hit it right here at the bottom, and then we made the bottom side wick here, I thought we were gonna collapse down to this level. We didn't. The next week I thought the same thing, and that's why I have to keep staying short-term bullish as we keep getting the levels. But let's go ahead and take a look at this COT. So we press this button there. There it is. So you can see we're still more percentage long, so we're still above the 60. So the long positions outweigh the short positions, and that kind of makes sense. You know, we're trending higher, but it's not an aggressive trend. It's this slow grinding movement. We're still more net long, again, as you can see here, based on what I just said. Now, the interesting thing is, even though the shorts went up aggressively, remember, that's not the same thing that happened here in September. In September, 1 week out from the huge drop, so here's the huge drop here, we can see it. 1 week out from the huge drop, then we had an increase, and then a steady, well, pretty aggressive decrease first, and then near zero. Here, it's been 1 week out increase, yes, but then pretty large increases. So the question becomes, are we going to go above the average in shorts here in the COT, or are we going to stay below it? So that's what we're going to be looking out for. You can still see that the longs are still above average, but they do seem like they might be peaking. If you guys remember back 2 weeks ago, I drew out this zone here, and I was looking for somewhere around here to be the level with the longs hit. At first it was this one, but then we crushed it, so then we're looking for this level here. Again, you could also do some TA on this chart, and then you can find out sort of where the premium is and all that type of good stuff. You could also use this swing high right here, so we'll just use that one. And you can see right here, we're definitely in that zone, so if we want to use it that way, because you're assuming that a previous zone where the prices, where the longs peaked, you might be peaking in that same zone again. So that's kind of the idea at the moment. So again, as long as the prices, and we'll go over that later, we stay above our short-term weekly level, then we'll be buying alts, and we do have some alts at the moment that we're holding. But the minute that turns back bearish, we're going to be getting out because it's not going to be pretty. We do have to be aware of that. So that's it for the COT. Let's move on to the margin accounts to see kind of how that is either supporting or supporting this idea of bearishness or bullishness. So let's get on to it. Okay, guys, so moving on here to the margin accounts from Bitfinex. As you can see, like always, we have the net position, which is just the Bitcoin longs minus the Bitcoin shorts. You have the Bitcoin longs here in the middle of the chart, and then you have the Bitcoin shorts. Now, the one we're going to pay attention to at the moment, because the Bitcoin, well, I guess we'll start with all the other ones. So let's go to the monthly chart, and it makes sense the market's going up right now. And why is that? Because when this candle closes here, obviously a big, huge bearish candle for both the net position and the longs, you can see that, one, the reason why the net position went straight down is because the longs went down, right? So you can see the month of August, the longs went down by 22%, the shorts barely moved. So it was basically mostly driven by longs covering, right? Longs either taking profits or longs getting out of the market. Who knows? But now the reason why the market's been going higher, and I don't think this is the bottom for this. So the reason that the market has been floating higher is because the beginning of the month, now you're getting that top side wick, right? You're above the open, and you're starting to form that wick, kind of like this right here, right? You would have been fooled in July in thinking that the longs were going to keep going higher, 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 and higher until obviously it closed and went back below it. And then you died. So the question is this just the top side wick of this monthly candle? In which case we should continue to move lower. And based on the levels that I had drawn out before, I don't think I still have them on this chart. No, I do not. But I expected this demand to get hit. So this one right here. So I am expecting this to be a fake move higher. And that is not good if, guys, if and only if these shorts start to pick up. As you can see here, the idea has always been, even back here in August, right? So every time we turn short-term bearish based on our price action level, which we'll go over later, the whole idea was, do the shorts pick up? Well, the shorts do try to pick up, but then they end up closing the week below our yearly and our quarterly. So every time, again, back in August 2nd, I thought we were going to go above it. You can see the week of the 9th, it tried going above it, and then it gave you a wick right to the quarterly and yearly. And then at that moment in time, we spoke about the 3-day demand right here. So we dinged it there. That allowed the market to go up a little bit. That did cause a retracement in prices because, again, you're adding shorts while the longs are declining, right? So that is bearish for price. And then look what happened here. Actually, for the past 9 days, right? The past three-day candles right here, we have actually just crushed our discount and crushed our 3-day demand. So at the moment, guys, you know, I don't want to say unfortunately, because obviously I'm long this market, so actually that's good. But I'm obviously not comfortable with the short positions being so high for the COT and the asset managers. So that's why I would just rather get those short positions out of the way, either reduced on a move lower, or, you know, while prices go higher, they better reduce them then, right? At least I have clarity on, hey, yeah, we're going to go trend. Bitcoin's going to go up 500%. At the moment, I have a conflicting signal, right? Because the COT is telling me to watch out for the downside. The margin accounts here, they refuse to go higher. You can see it right here, right? Every time you try to go above the monthly open, it can't do it. Every time you try to go above the weekly open, it just can't do it. And again, the one I was looking for the entire time was the quarterly and the yearly open. So until we go above that, I don't want to call high in this market. So maybe in a couple of weeks, maybe next week, we turn short-term bearish on the weekly level that we have in price action, which again, I'll show you later. And then maybe the longs drop into COT, and then maybe we see the margin accounts here for the shorts start to go higher and finally go back above the quarterly open. Now, really interestingly, this week, we actually started off the week with a 38% decline in these shorts, right? So now you have to imagine, okay, so is this setting us up for the bottom side wick, and then we're going to come higher? Or is this setting us up for that last little push on Bitcoin to hit 54K? Or maybe the other scenario that we just spoke about here, which would be number 2, right? If long stays strong but suited the shorts, we may only go for the all-time high. That would be like the ultimate backhand from Bitcoin, right? From all the large players. They're fooling everyone to thinking we're going to see 80K, 100K, and then they just trap more people at the high there, you know, that have to then hold their bags longer. So yeah, it'll be very interesting how all this develops, but right now I'm just not seeing any this positioning here from the asset managers that's still so, you know, incredibly high, and that keeps me worried. I'm not seeing why it would be causing the market to peak right now. And remember, I want to stress this because I know I've been talking about the COT positions ever since the low, right? And it did work out. We did get that move lower, but then we turned more longs than shorts, right? So now, because you're net long, it means more longs are open than shorts, and it's because COT, it's not a timing tool, okay? It's a sentiment tool, and it takes a long time for these players to get their billions of dollars in and out of this market, because this, as hard it is to believe, guys, this is not a very liquid market. You know, for someone like us that we trade, you know, mid 6 figures and higher, I can assure you it is not easy to get in and out of the market. When the market drops, it's a pain because of the speed and all that problems right there. When you're trying to get in, and we literally end up moving prices when we're trying to get into the market. We see it all the time. Bots try to front run our orders, and I literally will never get filled because they see such a large order coming into the market. I have to break it up into like 15 different buy orders and stuff like that. It's very, very frustrating. So can you? That's just me with less than $1 million. I can't imagine what someone with more than $1 million, 10 million, 15 million, 20 million goes through to try to get their money into this market. And again, that's even on Bitcoin, so which is the most liquid out of all of them. Can't imagine a top, someone outside the top 10 or top 20. So again, that kind of makes sense to me why it always takes so long for this COT positioning. And this happens in Forex too. I mean, the COT is not exact tool. If you guys remember back in January, this entire time and from February to April, it was the increasing shorts, declining longs, right? At this specific time, we may have increasing shorts, but remember, we're not above the average, like what happened back in January. And we still have increasing longs. That changed back in January, okay? So it's not exactly the same thing as what made the high, which is what leads me to believe maybe, just maybe, unless we decline longs here, we will go for the all-time high and then take out, and then, again, depending how the orders behave, we make our decisions. Again, that's just maybe. We could always literally do it, in the next few weeks or whatever. So yeah, that's about it for the margin accounts. Let me not make this any longer than it has to be. Now let's go on and talk about price, and then give you guys your short-term levels to keep in mind as prices keep developing. Okay guys, so now that we have the backdrop, the anticipatory stage of the video done, we can focus on our SMPDT and our short-term levels on price and our long-term levels to sort of guide us to either confirm or deny our broad sentiment tools, which is the COT and the margin accounts. So of course, like I said before, we are still in this premium, and that is the only thing that keeps me believing that if we decrease the longs in the COT or increase the shorts, then we could see a high. But in order for that to happen, let's go find out what our short-term level is. So you can see right here, this was a short-term level from last week. We had a swing low, swing high here, and we briefly went below it, so that would have turned you short-term bearish. And then right after that, immediately you went back above it. You retested it right here as support. So let's zoom in a little bit here, so you can see right here. Use it as resistance, goes down, and then you use it as support. So, and then once it was used as support, now you're bullish for the rest of the time. So as you can see here, you're just looking for buy signals. Worked out pretty nicely. You can stair step your way to some profits right there, and then use discounts and so on. So let's get rid of that one and let's focus on the new one that we have. So the new one here becomes this level right there. And basically what this is telling us is, so if we come here, we opened a week here, and then we came straight down, and we weren't really expecting for the market to reverse, because the market would have had to have fallen, about 5% to go back below the short-term level here to make us bearish. So again, guys, until we go back below this, we will stay bullish, expecting a move maybe to the top side of this range. I keep saying 54K, but the top side of the range is actually 54.7, so almost 55K, and that's basically like where I would have wanted it to see it. The first target when we bought at around 42K. So if you guys remember, we bought somewhere around here when August started. We did get shaken out of the market here, and that's because we had just hit the bottom side of our premium zone, and then we didn't see the follow through in our weekly level, right? Because we turned back bullish, and we didn't see the follow through in the COT because the longs kept increasing. And then ever since then, we've just been trading altcoins. So at this moment in time right here, I remember we bought Ethereum and Bitcoin, and again, my perfect targets would have been 50K and then 54 to 55K. So obviously we crushed 50K now, just a couple days ago, and now we're moving into 51K. So well, I say a couple days ago, but no, it literally just happened. But yeah, so that's what I have, guys. Again, there's not always much to talk about in price action. I don't know why people make it so complicated. It's literally as simple as spend 90% of your work, 95% of your time trying to look at on-chain, trying to look at the anticipatory stage, which is the COT, the margin accounts. Give yourself a sentiment, a reason to either be a buyer or a seller, and then go into the chart and pick whatever pattern you like, whatever, indicator you may like, and then find signals to support that idea. So yeah, again, the next target would be that, and then if that gets broken, we will target all-time highs. Keeping in mind everything that I said here when it comes to the COT, when it comes to the short position. You can see right here that when the market just dropped, so if we go to this 4-hour candle, when the market dropped here aggressively, so I was in a ETC position. It dropped 8%, right? So Bitcoin dropped 2%. My ETC trade dropped 8%, and you can see right here it was caused by these short increase. So again, it definitely moves the market, and we can see right now that it's starting to go higher. So if it goes back above the weekly open, that'll be interesting, because then you'll have price increasing in Bitcoin while the shorts are increasing. And then obviously the target would be the 3-day and then the monthly. So we'll see what that does to prices. But guys, be very, very careful. Like I said, if we do break back below this, and that would be a large drop, then we will have to honor it and be bearish, because then it could set us up for what we see here on the COT. To come true. So with that being said, guys, I'll see you tomorrow. Then we'll break down some of the positions that we've taken and the altcoins, kind of what the targets are, what we're looking for, and of course, depending how Bitcoin behaves. So see you guys tomorrow, and talk to you soon. Peace.